Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early. It's 3:30 a.m. on the dot here in Connecticut on the East Coast. If you watch my videos, you could probably tell already that I got something serious to talk about today. I'm just going to talk frankly in this video. I don't see any other way to do this. If I get yellow lighted, so be it. I'm pissed. I am pissed off. The purpose of me being on here, the main purpose, I've told you guys this before, I've been clean and sober from heroin, crack cocaine, pills. I used all this stuff every day for 2 decades. Since October 23rd of 2006, I've been clean and sober. The purpose, the main reason I feel that I have this channel is to help other people find the recovery that I found. My life is the best it's ever been in the last 16 years and 1 month. I'm coming up on 16 years and 1 month. On November 23rd, it'll be 16 years and 1 month. And the purpose of this channel, and it's to dispel myths and rumors that work against people getting into recovery, fighting the disease of addiction, because there's plenty of myths and disinformation out there, and that's what this video is about today. Marjorie Taylor Greene, man, I have never been so angry with this woman in my life. Let me just start, let me lay it all out for you as quickly as I can. Okay, the Club Q incident. I have to still be careful of how I talk about this. In Colorado Springs, right? 5 people gone, 20-something people injured. Horrific. I talked about that in the last 2 days' videos. Okay, so Joe Biden came out immediately after. President Joe Biden comes out. Says there's no room for hate. You know, this like I said in yesterday's video. This was a specifically, if you listen to the patrons of this bar, this was a sanctuary where they could go just to feel safe, just to be themselves. That's the main thing that they just wanted from this club, where they could go and feel like normal, like the rest of us feel, right? Which is tough enough already, you know, that they have to have a special space to go to be themselves. So Joe Biden talks about this, okay, and says, you know, there's no room for this. Marjorie Taylor Greene is all upset about Joe Biden. You know, well, you think about that. Why would she be upset? You know, Joe. Of course, it was a hideous, cowardly act, probably perpetrated, that had their own closeted feelings. Because that's what I think. Whenever I see stuff like this, I think that person more than likely has issues of their own that they're denying themselves, and so they act out in this way to you know, this inner battle where they feel like they have feelings towards people of the same sex. When I see somebody go off like this, it's the first thing I think. This person has these feelings, and he has a father or a grandfather like this MAGA guy. All right, Marjorie Taylor Greene puts out this, so she's all upset about Joe Biden. And she thinks it'd be better off if he spent his time working against immigrants coming into this country. And then she talks about this rumor that I've heard before about, I'm going to use it for my thumbnail. She's saying that this is so common, it's in all your Facebook family group texts. It's not mine. Believe me, this is not. I wonder if this is the kind of stuff when they talk about free speech on, you know, Elon Musk and Twitter and free speech. If this is the kind of lying, bull, disinformation, fear-mongering, scare tactics that end up hurting people trying to recover, people, addicts. When you put out this misinformation, okay. So what is this misinformation? She's spreading this rumor that people every day are being affected by car door handles. That some nefarious group, the immigrants, are putting this substance, this opioid, fentanyl, on door handles. And people are getting sick. 300 people a day. We're losing 300 people a day. And the text, I'll put the text on my thumbnail. And somebody else writes back, oh my God, what should we do? Should we wear rubber gloves? Seriously. Okay. This is not true. But from everything I know, from my 20 years using these substances, fentanyl, Dilaudid, morphine, heroin, Oxycontins, I was addicted to all these things. I use all these things on a daily basis until I got into recovery. All right. This is not true. The only way fentanyl could be absorbed through the skin is through a dermal patch. And that takes hours of being pressed against the skin. If it's in the air, I've heard that, let's say, like during police raids, like if stuff goes flying up in the air, there's a possibility it could get into the nasal cavities. That's how this drug is taken. I'll put the links down below. This is complete bull about these door handles. And let me just, I'm going to put the picture of Marjorie Taylor Greene's comments on my thumbnail. 99% of what she is saying is complete lies and disinformation. The only thing that she says in this text that's actually true is that 300 people a day are dying from fentanyl. And those are people that are addicted. This reminds me, I saw a Starsky and Hutch episode back in the 70s. And they kidnapped Hutch. I think it was Hutch, yeah. And these dealers shot him up every day. And they turned him into this junkie zombie. Do you guys remember that episode? They tied him to a chair and they shot him up on a regular basis. And he turned into this stumbling zombie. You know, it was just stumbling around the streets. First of all, if somebody was inadvertently, you know, and took it through their mouth or their nose or somehow into their actual bloodstream, not through the skin, they'd get sick. They'd get very, very sick. That's what happened. Every time I saw somebody use opioids for the first time, they got hideously sick, nauseous. They did not have a good time. You go to the hospital, you get something like methadone, just methadone, and that's if you took this over an extended period of time. If you did come in contact, it was ingested somehow, you'd get sick. You'd get badly sick. If it was enough, more than that would happen. But that's all that would happen. Why does she say this? Why does she say this about the door handles? I know exactly why she spreads this bull about the door handles. It's because some people, she wants everyone to be afraid and concerned about this, you know. It's not enough that she takes away from the LGBTQ community. We already know how she despises that community. So she's saying, you know, forget about them. And this whole Club Q thing and the grandfather, the MAGA grandfather. What about this? The open borders and Joe Biden and 300 people a day and door handles. It's all bull. And the thing that ticks me off the most is it takes away from the truth. The truth of the disease of addiction and how you treat it and how you could stop it is by treating people here in this country. More beds, more treatment, more free treatment. Make it easier to get into treatment. The more people in treatment, the more people in recovery, the less that's going to come across the border. And that's another bull. That's another lie. 90%, 80 to 90, 80 is a very low number, to 90% of all this stuff that comes into this country is coming through already established border crossings in trucks, in cars. Let me talk about this too. If you were in South America and you were a cartel bigwig, right? And you wanted to get your stuff across the border, would you grab Jose the farmer and tell him, look, you take this stuff into America, take it across the desert for 5 days and climb over a fence? Or would you maybe hire an American? That's another thing. Like 90%, more than that, of the people that are caught coming in are Americans that are smuggling this in here because people don't expect Americans. These cartel owners aren't stupid. They're not going to use people that look suspicious, that are going to get searched. They're going to use a grandfather. Did you ever see the movie The Mule with Clint Eastwood? That's really how it works. I know because I've been involved in this. And it's all just Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's all just scare tactics. She brings up this bull about door handles so that the people that really don't care about addicts like me, in recovery or not in recovery, because good people don't mess with drugs. She wants everybody to be scared about this. You know, the good Republican mom with the good kids that go to church. You know, now she's frightened too about these immigrants bringing all this stuff, you know, and poisoning our door handles. Yeah, and this is all lies and misinformation. I'll have all the links down below. I know I did this stuff for 20 years. If you could use this stuff just by touching it. Why, you know, there's pills. All you'd have to do is rub a pill. I could buy one pill, put it there, and just pick it up and rub it. And it would last for, you know, 2 months. That doesn't happen. I get so upset when I think about this. I'll have the links down below. Oh, and that was one other point I wanted to make. The point of this, the reason why cartel, they are not like the terrorists, like people in the Middle East that are fighting jihad, you know, that they're willing to die to do anything for their cause. That is not what the cartels in South America are about. They're about money. They're about the good life, women, money, like Tony Montana and stuff like that. Why would you give it away for free and rub it on, you know, $10 of your product for free on door handles to theoretically create more addicts? Like I said, the whole Starsky and Hutch theory. You know, this doesn't work. It would just make people sick. It would just get people caught. It would bring attention to their industry, which they don't want. You gotta think, just use your brain. Why would anybody do this? Why would anybody transport this stuff into the country using somebody that looks suspicious, like an illegal immigrant? They would use an American. They do use Americans. You know, this is all just nonsense and lies and misinformation. And I know because I was involved in it for 2 decades. Don't believe it. Recovery is possible. Treatment is the answer to this problem. Treating the disease of addiction will slow, or you'll never stop it. You'll slow down this coming into the country. Have a good Wednesday.